Hey, hey, hey! What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Child of Mecha live stream. I am your host, Tim, the one and only Child of Mecha. Welcome. Today is Friday. Yes. And we're going to be now working on the 2021 GBWC build today. Jumping back on this thing and continuing to refine and detail this sweet-ass new remixed beam rifle, right? So we're going to jump into that here in just a few seconds. But first, hey, if you need to bright slap somebody, this is the hat to do it in. If you want to pick up this awesome Londo Bell hat, hit up www.childofmecha.com. Hit the store button up at the top. You'll find this hat and many more. Shirts and prints of my work, all sorts of other cool stuff in there, so go load up. If you are interested in any of the tools and materials that we're going to be working with here today, there's an Amazon link somewhere below here on Twitch and YouTube. That side, if you're watching on Facebook, I highly suggest that you go in there and load up on that stuff as well. I do get a bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it does not increase the cost for you. Goes to help out me, goes to help out the stream, and kind of kickstart our plans moving forward, right? There's a lot of cool stuff in there. Like I said, tools and materials, books for inspiration, gear for streaming. Just added some new things in there late last night. So, yeah. Go peruse. And then, as always, if you are interested in kits, paints, tools, materials, whatever, Mecha Decals, sheets 1 and 2, those are both in stock and shipping now. Hit up our good friends right down here, USA Gundam Store. Adam and the fine folks down there will definitely have what you need. So, with that being said, let's talk about a couple programming notes here today. We've got the main stream, which you're watching right now. But then directly after that, we've got another stream where I'm going to be joined by a special guest. Yes, I'm going to be joined by David Clark, brand manager for Bluefin Distribution. So he's going to be joining me with some exciting news for you guys. So come on back for that directly after we end here. And we're going to talk, and he's going to share some exciting stuff with you guys. So should be a lot of fun today. And then we got Mechanism tonight, where we're just going to be just idiots. So that's always a fun time. So man, yeah, get comfortable today. Get comfortable, because it's going to be a day for some streams. I'm going to tell you that much right now. So without any further ado, let's go. Camera 2, there she is, and let's get zoomed out just a bit. There you go. You can get reacquainted with this awesome looking remixed beam rifle here, right? It's good stuff. We're going to lose the hat so we can get to work here. All right, so last time we were together, we were unfortunately rudely interrupted by the news of GBWC being postponed. Whoa, little Russian roulette there. But last time we were together, we were working on the scope, right? And I went ahead and actually I finished detailing that for the most part, I think. Let's go ahead and remove the scope and talk about this a little bit more in detail, yeah? So what we went ahead and did that nice little kind of, I don't know what you want to call it, kind of a little border scribe right there at the front end with a couple little notches there. We added these little circular round details on both sides there. Went ahead and outlined this part here, and then connected all that with this nice little panel line there. Wrap that up and over. Got a couple notches on top there, and symmetrical on this side. Got a notch there, and then also a dividing line right there that basically divides this off from the rest of it. So I think that looks pretty good. I like it. I like it so far. I think there's maybe one or two things that I want to do to you know, I kind of want to add to this. So we'll be starting on that today. But then after that, we're going to jump into working on this back part here on the beam rifle proper, right? Because this is all just still stock kind of a look, right? We did shave off these little circular bits and stuff like that, but that's not really all that much, right? So we're going to work on this here in a little bit. There you can also see our simple plating with our little 45-degree floating notches at either corner. I think that came out really nice. And yeah, so we're going to be doing that today. Sound good? I think so. Let's see. Zach Bleich is with us. Mr. Galactic Toys himself. Grand Rapids, Michigan. What's going on, Zach? Our boy Tetsugen, George, is with us. He says, got to get down on Friday. Everybody's looking forward to the weekend. Yes. Sure. Let's see. VFX10 Viper Josh is with us. He says, hey, everyone. What's going on, Josh? And then I know I saw Julius and a bunch of other folks in there as well. Sarge. So, all right. Let's get down on this thing, shall we? Speaking of getting down on Fridays, we're gonna get down on this this scope. So, one of the things that I kind of wanted to do with this is to add just a little bit of positive detail to the top here, right? So, I think what we're gonna do is we're going to go, what is that? 1 millimeter by 0.5 millimeter strip, right? And we're going to put that right up there and then wrap this around till it hits that little bit right there, that little detail there, right? That's what we're going to do today. So let's go ahead and get that done. Now, first and foremost, what we got to do is we got to square the end of this strip. So since this is only a 1 millimeter strip, it's going to be somewhat tight on the back edge of the chopper, right? So to compensate that, what we can do is to grab a strip of something a little bit wider. In this case, this is I guess 4 by 0.5 millimeter. And we'll bump that right up against the stop block there. And then we can push that 0.5 millimeter right up against that. And then that way, we get a nice square end on that strip, right? So that's the first part. We'll hold off onto that strip because we're going to need that here in the next few seconds as well once we get the other side of this clipped. So what we're going to do is we're going to start on this side, and we're not going to bring it down all the way to the angle break. We're just going to kind of maybe about 1 millimeter off, right? So what we're going to do, clip that at an angle so we know which side is square, right? And then we are going to get our super glue, and we need our palette for this because this is going to be somewhat of a delicate little piece. Little drop right there. And let's see, where's a nice little scrap piece of plastic? Here we go. This little guy will work. And let's get this loaded up in the tweezers there. And just a little application of super glue on this thing. We'll lock this into place. Alright, and now we'll place this down dead center as possible here. Let's see, right there. Okay, that looks pretty good. Press that into place. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Okay, so next thing we need to do, and it actually looks like that this end is actually already squared off for us. So we're going to cut this also at a bit of an angle, just so we know which end is square. And we're going to get that loaded into the tweezers there. But first, we've got to clip off this excess here. Just like that. Okay. And then we'll trim this right down to the surface here. And this, for you guys that don't know, this is just a simple strapping technique. This is what we have done for literally since we've started streaming. Alright. Now with this little of a strip, you gotta be very careful when you trim, because what can happen is your knife can blow out the opposite side and really damage the entire piece, right? And it could be bad, very, very bad, and it will look very, very bad, and you'll need to fix it, and that's just not efficient. So by going slow and taking just very, very minimal shavings off there, you get it nice and flush, just like that, and you're in good shape. Alright, so now we've got our other little strip here, which is square at this side. Now we'll go ahead and apply a little bit of super glue on here as well. Okay, just like that. Alright, so now what we'll go ahead and do, there we are, is to align the strips in the detail. Yep, and that looks pretty much dead on. Press that into place. Very good. All right, so now we got to do the same process for this side of the strap or strip, but in this case it's now become a strap because it's going over two surfaces. At least that's what I call it anyway. So, all right. So we'll clip off most of it there. We still have a little bit of an overhang, as you can see. So we'll need to trim that back. And same process applies. Since this strip is very, very thin, and there's only a little bit of super glue holding this thing on, the power of that adhesion is not very high. So we want to avoid, like we said before, blowout, but we also want to avoid this thing popping off. So we'll go just super, super slow, take off very thin shavings of plastic, and hopefully this thing will work with us here. And there we go. Excellent. Perfect. Perfect. All right, so now what we've got to do is we got to clean up our super glue on all the sides here. So, like we always do before, We do the vertical cuts down the side. That's first, and then we'll do our surface cuts or our horizontal cuts and clean that out. Now, since we only used a little bit of super glue on both of these parts, it's not a huge mess right now, but it's enough to be noticeable when you go to prime and paint. And that is what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to achieve a good, cleanly look of all of our parts. So by cleaning out any glue squeeze out, we get that much closer to that look, right? Now, one thing to keep in mind, be very careful when you, on a piece this size, be very careful when you're making your horizontal, your surface cuts, because any added little pressure to that piece laterally like that can cause it to pop off the piece. Trust me, it's happened to me many times before. Many. Alright. And what I'm doing here is just kind of scraping any little excess away from the piece. And then kind of up the sides there. You don't want to scrape into the piece because, again, same type of thing. You could pop the piece right off of your part here. All right, there we go. Perfect. There we go. That's nice and clean. Looking pretty good, right? There you go. We're not necessarily done with this just yet because what I want to do next is to bevel both ends, right? So for this end, I want to bevel into this pre-existing detail. All right, that looks really good. Just like that, you can kind of see there that that slope that we cut in right up against that. And now we're going to do the same thing to this back edge here as well. Very nice. Simple cuts. Simple cuts. All right, let's get super zoom. Let's show you what we've got here, and then we'll get caught up with the chat. Okay, let's see. There it is. All right. Looks pretty good. A little contrast there against my finger, but you can see how that's nice and clean, nice and straight. The bevels look really good. And then there's all the rest of it, yeah. All the rest of it. Looks pretty nice. I like this so far. Very good. Very good. Very good. All right. So, let's see. Let's get out of super zoom and we'll get caught up with the chat, okay? All right. Let's see. Michael Crumrine is over there on YouTube, says, finally had to change your title. Yeah, man. Yeah. 2021, here we go. Looks like Z's over there with us, Mr. Gumpler Ronan. He says, sup, guys? What's going on, Z? Written Wisely has a question.
We have a question.
Yeah. Was GBWC officially canceled for 2020? Yes. Yes, it was. If you take a look at our stream from Wednesday, I think it was actually Michael Crumrine that actually came in and was the first to let us know, and then subsequently Wilson Alanea sent us a screenshot of the Bandai Hobby website, and we went and confirmed it and everything like that, and yeah, so it happened Wednesday evening, right during the stream, and yeah, it was kind of nutty. So yeah, 2020 is no more. Now, mind you, in their release, they said that it will be combined 2020 and 2021, and they had tentative, beside that. So I think that was more of a tentative title rather than an actual combination. So, some people are saying, oh, they're going to have twice as many people. No, I don't. I doubt that. Okay, I doubt that will happen. And I doubt very seriously that they're going to keep the name GBWC 2020-2021. I don't think that'll happen. I think it'll just be GBWC 2021, and we just skip this year. Plain and simple. I think that's more realistic at this point, right? So, but yes, to answer your question, Written Wisely, yes, GBWC has been canceled, postponed, whatever you want to call it. I say it's been canceled. So, yeah. Charles Dodge says, hence the title change. Yeah. George Tetsugen says it has been rebranded GBWC 2021, so it will take place in 20,000. What is it? 200,001 years. Yeah, there you go. Jesus, George. Speaking of which, the date on the title is fixed. Yes, I fixed it. I done fixed it. I Never Reloaded. He's back with us over there on Twitch. He says, "Hey, brother, what's going on? What's going on with you? We're just having some fun. Working on this scope a little bit, and then moving on to the beam rifle." Let's see. Written Wisely says, haha, and to enter, you will need a humanoid companion who will decode riddles for a secret location. There you go. Nice. That would be nice if they did 2 winners from each reason to compensate. I don't think they will. I don't see it happening. That's just my gut feeling at this point. Gumpa Uruguay, Mr. Javier says, I guess they'll delay the launch of the moving RX-782 as well. He says, well, more time for me to go back to Japan. There you go, yeah. I think the moving RX-78 was more kind of more for the Olympics more than anything. So with the Olympics being postponed, I think that's when we'll probably see the Gundam move and all that stuff. So, yeah. I Never Reloaded on Twitch. It says, is this the GBWC build? Yes, it is. Yes, this is part of it anyways. This is just the scope for the beam rifle, but yes, it is. Zach Bleich says, it's too bad it was canceled. Yeah, it is, but I think it's for the best. I think it's the right decision, right? And we've talked about this, and I've expressed my feelings on that before, but I think it's for the best, because so many people were, kind of behind the 8 ball with lack of supplies, and just being, locked in for the most part, not being able to get out to the hobby stores, and resources being limited from Japan and things like that. So I think it's for the best. And plus, honestly, there's just more important things to focus on than a a modeling contest, right? So, but you know, I definitely think it was the right idea. I think it's a good choice on Bandai's part. So, but like I said earlier at the top of the hour, we're going to be joined here directly after this stream for some exciting news from Mr. David Clark. So, we're not done yet. Let's put it that way. We're not done yet. Terry T says, I definitely do not have my 2020 build ready, but now I should have more time and acquire more skills to complete it. See, there you go. We have over a year. For some of us, we have over a year and a half now. Especially if you compete in the Northeast here or online. So that's awesome, right? We have way more time to not only refine our concept, but up our skill sets, right? So that's an exciting thing. Yeah. Alex Andrews says, all I know is it gives us more streams. Damn right, Alex. You're damn right on that one, buddy. So, all right. Good deal. So, let's go ahead and continue on this thingy, shall we? Excuse me. So, one last thing that I wanted to try and maybe add to the scope here is just a little bit of detail right here. Focus. There we go. Just a little bit of detail right back here on this surface here, right? Because we've got nice detail here, and then we've got, you know, kind of plain, but we've got the two notches there, and then we've got a plain surface here. So this, I think, needs just a little something, just a little something, right? So for that, I think we're just gonna go simple and add maybe like a Kotobukiya plate or something like that on there. But it's finding the right one, right? Finding the right size. That's the kind of the key at this point, right? So I'm just kind of digging in the crate O parts over here to try and find the plates that I'm looking for, and having a hard time locating the right ones. These are not it. Wait a minute. Are these it? These are it. All right. So these right here, this is plate P124, right? And what I'm thinking is maybe one of these little guys right down here, right? Hopefully that fits on here. We'll see. Oh yeah, that fits on nicely. So there we go. There's our candidate. So let's get this little guy clipped out of here. Be very careful because these smaller plates are very, very thin. And what we'll go ahead and do is get the nubs trimmed off here. Just like that. There we go. Very nice. And let's go ahead and get our little palette of super glue back in here. And then we're gonna just lightly stab that little guy right in the corner. I think we're going to need a little bit more super glue on the palette here because we're kind of scraping at nothing. There we go. That's what we need. All right. So let's get that out of the way, and let's go ahead and place this thing here. There we are. That looks good. Okay, so now just press that down into place. And what we'll also do is we'll try to get as much of this super glue squeeze out off of here as possible right now, because this is going to be a much easier time for us to clean that off with this little piece than to try and trim it, since this little plate is so very, very thin. It's a bit on the harder side to trim this properly, right? So keep that in mind. Let's see, Alex. Oh, we already read Alex's comment there. George Mr. Tetchison says, to maintain proper social distancing, all judging will be done via online polls. God, I hope not. I Never Reloaded says, over there on Twitch, he says, so have you built that Deep Striker kit yet? I have not. No, it's sitting in the box, right? Let's see. Hey, Jason Reyes, Mr. Reyes, Power Ranger, Beer Banter Build Night himself. He says, we miss you, man. Sabrina and I kicking back watching the greatness you're working on. Jesus. Well, say hi to Sabrina for me. Absolutely. Let's see. Merritt Philbin's over there with us on YouTube. He says, how do you get the super glue palette to not dry? May have missed this. No, it will absolutely dry. Not quickly, but quickly enough, right? I just put a drop on there, and it will definitely stay liquefied for a while, right? Look at this. Michael Crumrine with the $20 super chat. He says, didn't get the Trump check because I made too much last year. Damn. However, my company just told me I'm getting hazard pay for working during the virus because I work at the hospital. Oh, damn, dude. Stay safe, brother. So here is some dough for all the great advice. Oh, man. Thank you, Michael. Dude, you get one of these, dude. Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you very, very much. Good looking out. Let's see. Julius has got a question for us.
We have a question.
All right, Sarge, here we go. Hey, there it is. Same time. Look at that. Nice. What would you use the ultrasonic cleaner for other than cleaning an airbrush? Great question, Sarge. Actually, what I'll do is I will put parts in there that need to be stripped, and especially if they're very intricate. I'll put a small basin of isopropyl alcohol, so like a little basin like this, like a little Tupperware container, something like this. This has water in it, obviously. It's been wet sanding, and I did a little bit of sculpting last night too, and you guys will see that very, very soon. But put a little basin of that in your ultrasonic cleaner, fill that with isopropyl alcohol or whatever, and then fill the basin around it with water, and then you can drop your parts into that little container, and it'll strip very, very effectively. And you don't waste product at that point either. The other thing that I will do is to clean parts before painting and everything. So yeah, I will drop my parts and do the same type of thing. Put in a larger container, fill that with isopropyl alcohol, drop all the parts in there, fill the basin in around it with water. Same type of process, and run that through a cycle, and that will clean those parts really, really well. You don't want to leave them in there for very long. Maybe just one cycle on the highest that your ultrasonic cleaner will go. But after that, man, those parts are stupid clean. What I would say is this: don't touch them with your hands. after that. Use gloves if you can find them. But you definitely don't want to recontaminate those parts before they get primer on them, because those are absolutely then pristinely clean. Yeah, with the ultrasonic cleaner you can do a lot, and then shit, you can clean jewelry. The wife always loves that, right? So that's a side benefit of having one. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, and then ultra cleaning your airbrush every once in a while isn't a bad idea as well. So yeah, Alex Andrews says stay safe, Michael. Definitely, I agree. Charles Dodge says you can use it to clean parts before starting the painting. There you go. Hell yeah. Alex Andrews says we all appreciate it. Definitely. Gumpler Uruguay, mixing paint. Interesting thought. I never thought about that, but yeah, I don't see why you couldn't mix paint in that fashion. Yeah. Ty Fury says, I wish I was getting hazard pay. I just found out another person in our building had been confirmed with the Rona. Oof. That's scary. That's scary, right? That is scary. I know several people within the hobby that either have it or know someone that does have it. Our boy Cam, who runs the original Mecha competition, or the OMC. He got tested positive. So yeah, that's terrible, right? Cam is in absolutely wonderful condition. He practices jiu-jitsu competitively over there in England, but he got tested positive, and I know that he's actually posted some of his friends have tested positive, and I believe, unfortunately, one of them passed away here recently. So that's very, very unfortunate. So it's a scary time. It's a scary time, man. Written Wisely says my area has been very, very lucky. Only 5 current cases for the entire city. Wow. Yeah, it's not bad. That's something, right? That's something. Kelvin Branham is over there on YouTube. He says, just joined in. What did I miss? We're just busy kind of doing the final details on this, man. Just talking about stuff and yeah, all that, having fun, right? So yeah, Julius Dembski Sarge, he says, which of the 2 on your Amazon page would you recommend? It may be my next tool. Sarge, look at the sizes, because I believe the 2 on there are 2 different sizes. Get the one that best works for you. They both, last time I checked, had great reviews. I got mine, which is a big one, from Harbor Freight. And I think mine is probably overkill for most, because I had to clean rather sizable parts. I got it when I was building the Hummingbird back several years ago, and I wanted to put one of the fuel tanks in there, but the fuel tanks were so long that it wouldn't fit in a normal ultrasonic cleaner. So get the one that best suits your needs, right? Because like I said, I think if I recall correctly, there are 2 different sizes on there. So yeah. Gumpler Uruguay Javier says, saw a Japanese builder using one of those cleaners to stir a paint bottle. That's interesting. He just put the bottle with paint on a bowl with water. Okay, gotcha. So same type of excuse me, same type of process, right? Same type of process. That's interesting. I never thought about that. I might have to give that a shot, right? Jason, Mr. Beer Banter Build Night. My sister got it, and she hasn't been the same after she got better. Yeah, and that it does change. It does change people, man. Especially if in the lungs. You have a hard time breathing, and from what doctors have said, if it affects you severely enough, to the point where, fortunately, you don't have to go on a respirator. Yeah, it lowers your air intake or your oxygen intake or something like that, pretty dramatically. Yeah, it's like I said, it's scary, man. It's scary. Michael Crumrine says, thanks, guys. Dude, thank you, Michael. Appreciate you, brother. Let's see. Serwin is over there on Facebook. And Serwin, respectfully, I'm not going to try your last name because I don't want to butcher it, buddy. But he says, I use isopropanol alcohol to clean parts like Karcher to wash car. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if that works, right? If that works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Let's see. Merritt Philbin says, proud that Canada, especially Ontario, has been taking it so seriously. Yeah. I wish. Superset5 says, I'm late. What'd I miss? Dude, we're just working on this thing. This Scopey Scope. And then we were also talking about how we're having a stream right after this one for some exciting news here in the U.S. To talk with Mr. David Clark, brand manager from Bluefin. He's going to be joining me, and we're going to be talking about some exciting stuff coming up here in the U.S. So don't go anywhere. We'll jump on to that stream after this one. Let's see. Merritt Philbin says, how much for one of those ish? It depends. And I think, Merritt, what you're talking about is the ultrasonic cleaners. Mine that I got from Harbor Freight, it cost me about $70-$80, something like that. It depends on the size, really. They can go as low as $20-$30 for the wee tiny ones, or $50 for kind of a medium-sized one. But mine was like, I think it was like $70-$80. So, but it, like, again, it's a pretty big one. Let's see. Written Wisely says, have you seen the protesters? Yeah. Protesters, man. Charles Dodge says, Tim, I'm super proud of your governor right now. Yeah, you know, he's not doing a very bad job, is he? And Charles is talking about Maryland governor. Yeah, he's not doing too bad. I don't necessarily hold a lot of the same stances on things that he does, and we're talking about Governor Larry Hogan from Maryland here. And but you know what, he's doing the right thing. Yeah, he's doing a bang up job. So yeah, I totally support him in that aspect of things. So, and yeah, so not a bad dude. Not a bad dude. I will say that he's done a good job thus far. Yeah. Let's see. I never reloaded over there on Twitch. He says, so I decided on the model I'm getting. I'll be getting the GM Sniper 2. Hey, that's a good one. You're gonna like that. You are gonna like that. It's modern. It's got great details, great proportions, all sorts of nice just features to it. I think you'll be very, very happy with that choice. Very happy. And you can customize the hell out of that thing. It's so good. Mara Philbin says, haha, haven't seen that. No, but yeah, most people, yeah. Jason over there on YouTube, he says, I'm happy that you all been safe and keeping busy streaming. It's been amazing to see everyone hang out and socialize. Hell yeah, man. Superset5 says, nice, can't go wrong with the Sniper 2. Definitely, I totally agree with that. Alex Andrews says, aren't Bluefin the new P-Bandai distributor? Bluefin is the official distributor here in the U.S., Alex. They've been actually the distributor here in the U.S. for a number of years. But yeah, they've started to carry P-Bandai over here in the U.S., thankfully, for us. So honestly, dude, I hope it's only a matter of time for the UK. You guys deserve an official distributor, and you guys have deserved GBWC for a good number of years. So hopefully it's only a matter of time for you guys. Serwin over there on Facebook, he says, but in Sonic Cleaner, water is hot. It don't damage plastic parts. Oh no, actually, in an ultrasonic cleaner, the water is not hot, and it doesn't need to be. So you just put in, tap water or whatever. You can get distilled water if you want. I think that's a little bit overkill for the most part, but whatever floats your boat. But no, it actually does not. It doesn't heat up or anything like that. It may raise the temperature maybe 5 degrees at most, maybe 10. But it does not get hot at all if you put in just cool tap water, room temperature stuff. So no, it does not damage the plastic in any way, shape, or form. Now, mind you, if you put in chemicals that could, then you run the risk of it. Yeah, but no, if you're just using water or isopropyl alcohol or something of that nature, something safe on plastic, you're going to be completely fine temperature-wise. So that's a good question, though. Mara Philbin says, to plug, if anyone hasn't seen, check out the Great Canadian Build-Off on Facebook to see some cool out-of-box builds with custom paint jobs. Yeah, so I just kind of caught wind of this. The Great Canadian Build-Off, which is this cool build-off between a bunch of the Canadian Facebook groups. So, like Vampla, the Montreal group, Toronto group, Side 6. I think there might be some other ones in there. I can't remember. But they're all kind of banded together in this one cool build-off. And, yeah, it's just really cool to see. Really, really cool to see a bunch of groups in Canada just kind of pull together for something like that. I think that's awesome. I think that's really, really awesome. So yeah, I highly suggest if you guys haven't seen it, go and take a look at it, because I think it's really cool. I think it's really, really cool. Alex Andrews says, we know it's probs won't be in this decade most likely, but hey, if it's sooner, some people will be happy. Definitely, man. I think the UK has deserved a proper distributor and to be in GBWC for probably at least the last 5 years, if not longer. Honestly, I don't know why, but you guys just you kind of get looked over. I don't know. Let's see. Chris Pabs is over there with us on YouTube. He says, I use an ultrasonic cleaner for resin parts after the degreaser bath and a brush. Okay, yeah. And I will do the same thing if I build resin. I'll throw in the degreaser in much the same fashion as the isopropyl alcohol. I'll throw it in like a little sub-container, and I'll throw the resin parts in there and fill the rest of the basin with water, and just boom. It works really well. Don't leave that stuff in there that long, because that degreaser could end up penetrating the resin. I've actually had that happen before on several different, actually on one build, but on several different parts. And I was not too happy about that. So watch your P's and Q's, kids. Julius Dempsey says, did someone say resin? What up, Pabs? Yeah. There he is. It's the bat call for Pabs. It's the Pabs call. Merritt says, yeah, it's kind of cool to see. Yeah, the great Canadian build-off is damn cool. Let's see. Written Wisely says, did you just special summon yourself with the resin reference? I think he did. I think so. Ty Furious says, I used to work for a company that lubricated aerospace parts. We had this huge sonic cleaner that held gallons of 99% isopropyl alcohol. Damn, dude. Then you're getting serious if it holds gallons. Mine, I think, is like 1.5 liter capacity, maybe 2, something like that. But it's big for your kind of home use, cleaner, ultrasonic cleaner. So that's crazy. It held gallons. Alex Andrews says, if we do get GBWC, it'll probably be for Europe and excluding UK, knowing our luck. Wow, I hope not. I mean, let's see. Italy has it. France has it. So there are 2 countries right there in Europe. So hopefully they keep it by country, right? And not just lump sum you guys together, because that would be, I think, unfair. Let's see. Tex Merquise, she's over there on YouTube. She's giving us a good hi. Hello. Pab says, I stalk these lands till either my name is called or I call it. There you go. Nice. Nice. Very cool. Very, very good. All right, so we're all caught up there. Wonderful. Oh, we're not caught up here. Superset5 over there on Twitch. He says, I watched the rerun episode of the SD build last night. Got me motivated to work on my Banshee. I'm starting to think it's cursed since I broke a piece in half. And then the carpet monster paid me a visit and ate the other half of said broken piece. Ouch. Yeah. That will happen. That will happen, right? That will happen. Written Wisely says to Chris, to Pabby, he says that just seems like cheating if you call it. If you call it, right? If he calls himself out, yeah. It does kind of, right? A little bit. A little bit. Let's see. Edwin RSA is over there on YouTube. He says, hello, everyone. What's going on, Edwin? Joe Stemsky says, I'll probably get the Harbor Freight ultrasonic cleaner because I have a gift card for them. Oh, yeah, definitely, man. It makes sense, right? It absolutely makes sense. Tashi says, just cleaned up the Simpro 1100 GM Sniper. Unfortunately, the parts were where the bipod pegs in seems too loose on one side and too tight on the other. Should be an easy fix, though. Cool gun for sure. Nice. Sirwin over there on Facebook, he says, you use our ultrasonic cleaner to clean painted parts from paint. If you use that, what kind of cleaner do you use? Yeah, so to strip parts. Now, mind you, Sirwin, I use Mr. Color paints. So they are lacquers or solvent-based acrylics, to be technical. What I use is 91% isopropyl alcohol. That, the kind of you get from a, grocery store, drugstore, convenience store, etc. I'll use that, and then that'll strip off the Mr. Color and all that stuff literally in seconds. And I'll usually put it in an ultrasonic cleaner for really, really detailed, complex parts that have a lot of little nooks and crannies and stuff like that, little pockets of detail. And I'll let that work on it first and loosen things up. And then what I'll do is I'll just take a toothbrush to the rest of it and kind of get any little stubborn parts out and stuff. So, yeah. Tex Merquise says, the Harbor Freight one looks real good in the box months later. Oh, actually, you know what I should be doing? I should be doing this. That. Justin Timberlake gif. Jason over there on YouTube, he says, Team SD build off, great builds been coming in. Yeah. Soon, I guess. Right? Soon. Nice. Tex says, just saying, and then she says, cut it out. Womp womp. Anyway, all right, moving on, right? Moving on. Let's get into this. And hey, and if you guys missed the top of the hour, directly after this stream, I'm going to be joined by Mr. David Clark. We've got some really cool news for the U.S. So come on back, jump on the other stream on my channel for that, and listen to let's hear what David's got for us, because I think it's going to be very, very exciting. So come on back for that right at 5 p.m. So just a little under an hour from now, and we'll probably have to cut short today's stream by about 10-15 minutes, but trust me, it'll be worth it. So come on back for that if you haven't heard me say that several times thus far. So anyway, let's get back onto this thing. So the scope, I think, is pretty much done. Let's real quick clean the super glue from this piece here, and then we'll jump on to the back end of the rifle here, right? There we go. Clean that off a little bit. Good there. And again, we're just doing our due diligence here, cleaning up the super glue that has squeezed out from underneath of this part, right? Simple stuff, but just be very, very careful. Very, very careful, right? There we go. Nice. Okay, so we'll set that off to the side. Let's disassemble this the beam rifle here, and we'll get to work on the back end here. So let's get these wires taken out here ever so carefully. We'll get this guy disconnected, and here we go. All right, so the back end of the rifle. We've kept this stock up until now, mainly because there were more important things to work on in this thing. And what we went ahead and did when, excuse me, when I chopped off the back end here, cleaned off these two little circular details here, cleaned off a circular detail here. But that's really about it. You know, we've plated up the back end, shaped all that. That looks good. We got the little nubby back here, and but just the side right in this vicinity on both sides, I think just needs a little bit of love and attention, right? Just a little bit, just something. Let's see. Looks like. Let's confirm. Robert Cottrell, he's over there on the Mecha Army Facebook group. He says, hey, Tim, what's going on, Robert? And then Charles Dodge over here on YouTube, he says, oh, Tim, stop by local Gundam Store today for new kits. Told the owner I have to punch him for introducing me to your channel. That's awesome. Hey, man, you know, thank him for me, at very least. You know, what's the local store there, Charles? Because that's interesting to know. Like, if he introduced you to me, that's kind of wild, right? That's very flattering, actually. I didn't know stores were recommending me, right? That's cool. That's very cool. All right. So let's see. Build up import. Okay. Sweet. That's very cool. All right. I might have to do something for those folks then. Might have to send them like a card or something like that. Maybe some stickers. Who knows? That's very cool though. That's very, very cool. That's awesome. That's awesome. And the owner introduced you. That's wild. That's really cool. I mean, that's very, very flattering. That's very, very, very cool. That's awesome. That's wild. Yeah, it's a cool feeling. I don't know. It's a cool feeling. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know like how to react to that. It's crazy. Build up import. Okay. Huh. Independence. Okay. So Charles, do me a favor. Send me their information. Like DM me or something like that. You know, either Facebook, Instagram, whatever. Shoot me their information. All right. Because that's awesome. That is really, really cool. Huh. That's wild. That's so freaking wild. Okay. I gotta stop thinking about it right now because I gotta focus on this. Like, one thing at a time here. One thing at a time. Okay, so let's see. So what are we gonna do here? We've already got a lot of different levels of surfaces and stuff like that here, and different weird shapes going on and all that. So I think definitely we want to play off of these surfaces. You know, we want to continue what is basically already here, right? So, one of the little circular details that we removed were actually, they were rings, right? They were just kind of raised, kind of rounded over rings. And I really, really, really did not like the look of them at all. But the thing is that this, especially this little space right here with the round kind of top to it, now looks somewhat out of place, right? So if we add back a little bit more of a plain or simplistic type of shape, then I think it's gonna kind of all come together a lot better. And I think these two right here, these 3.5 millimeters, I think are gonna be our best bet here. So let's get both of these here. Airs385 says he would love some stickers. He talks about you a lot to new builders for learning and ideas. Come on, stop it, stop it. That's awesome. And Charles Dodge says this, yeah. And thanks, Charles, for adding to the name of his store. That's so cool. Okay. Do they have a Facebook page, you guys? Let me know, because that's wild. I'm like kind of beside myself right now. I'll be honest with you. Yeah, Alex Andrews. Yeah, Tim's awestruck right now. I kind of am. Like, you know, it's very, very flattering and very touching to, you know, to be recommended by anybody, right? But honestly, you know, from a store standpoint, that's kind of, yeah, that's special, I think. You know, I think that's special. And Alexander says, which don't blame him, by the to be honest. Yeah, no, I think it's awesome. I think that's freaking awesome. Yeah, Charles and Eris, like I said, if they have a website or Facebook or any of that, just, yeah, send it to me, because I definitely want to try and touch base, and obviously thank them a tremendous amount, because that's really awesome. It's really awesome. It's very, very cool. Ooh, you know what I could do? I could send him a print to like hang up in the shop or something like that. I think that would be cool, right? Autograph it and everything. I think that would be cool. Along with, you know, stickers and stuff like that. Shit, yeah. Okay. Ideas are formulating. I won't say anything more. But yeah, send me the information, you guys, and that'll be freaking sweet. That's awesome. Like, I didn't know that. That's so cool. Shit, I don't even have the visor down, and I'm trying to cut this little part here, and it's just like I'm not even focused on this stuff right now. Oh man. Anyway, let's try to focus here. I don't know, you guys. Like, I always get kind of beside myself whenever you know, whenever like a store does that type of thing, or like if I get invited to some place or whatever, like, it means like so much, right? And it's so wild to think that out of just, you know, making little plastic robots, you kind of get this, you know. It's just it's very surreal. to be honest. It's very, very surreal. And I'm still not used to it at all. Not even a little bit. Now I've just basically gone silent. All right. Reel it back. Reel it back. All right, here we go. So what we're doing here, obviously we're doing our due diligence in cleaning off the nubs on these little parts. Focus. There we go. And before we lay these into place, we want to make sure they're as clean as possible, right? So there's those two. Now what we're going to do is we're going to pop these right there, and then that curvature of that that nice big panel line will follow that around, and I think that'll look really, really great, right? So I think the sizing and everything is spot on. So what we need to do is to grab our little palette of gunked up super glue. And Merritt, if you're still watching, check this out. Look, so the drop that we set in there just a little while ago, that's still, look at that, that's still a bit on the viscous side. It's definitely starting to dry out. As you can see, it's got, let's see, you know, let's see, yeah, see, it's got, you know, it's got some, it's kind of sticky at this point, but it's still viscous. So that kind of shows you the amount of time that you have to work with the super glue and everything. So you got a few minutes, right? You got a few minutes. All right. So let's see. Let's get that dumped off there and get our palette here. Get a little drop. Now we're not going to have to apply this with our little scrap piece or anything like that, but what we can do is we can just dip these parts right into that little drop of super glue and then wipe off any, you know, excess, right? Because what we've got on there now is a nice kind of big drop, so by just dabbing off what we don't need, that'll prevent massive squeeze out once we go to apply this. All right. And right there we go. Follows the curvature of that panel line really nicely. Gives obviously it gives vertical depth off of the piece, because now that little circular detail is the highest or widest point, you know, for this back section here, right? So that's kind of what we were going for. All right, same thing here. There we go. Nicely aligned in both directions. Very, very good. All right, so that gives us a nice jumping off point for details to follow, right? So what I think we want to do, let's see something here. Yeah. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. We're actually going to, there's this nice deep panel line right here, right? There you can see it in the highlights. We're going to fill that in because I just don't like that line coming down. I mean, it really doesn't separate anything, and it doesn't really serve a purpose, right? So we're gonna fill that in, and we're gonna use some 1x0.5 millimeter strip here. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay. Oh, thank you, Zach. Appreciate that, buddy. Mr. Zach Bleich just sent me some tracking info. Appreciate you, man. Let's see, real quick. Terry T says it should be evidence that you are doing good work, Tim, both with your model work and your work to help to educate the community. Aw, man, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Ty Furious, what? May subscription fee with a $5 super chat. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. We don't necessarily have a subscription fee here, so if somebody told you that, then I don't know what they were. I don't know. They might have duped you. But no, I appreciate it. Thank you, man. Mara Philbin says thanks. Oh, dude, absolutely. Jason over there on YouTube, he says, got me shopping on the Mecha Store now. What? Come on, man. Nice. Bro Builder, here he is. Mr. Brian, he says, Tim's over here dropping dabs. Right? We do what we can. Jason says, do you use any military references in your weaponry construction? Oh, absolutely, man. Yeah, 100%. I mean, if you look at the mag, I mean that's full on space AK, right? As the kids would say. But yeah, no, I mean you have to, yeah, in my opinion, you have to have some sort of tangible realism in all of this. Especially when it comes to customization and scratch building and stuff like that, there definitely needs to be some sort of tangible realism that comes into play, right? Definitely. Let's see. Brian says, phrase your question in all caps and say it with, I have a question. Well, just question, yeah. Start. Nice. Alex Andrews has got a question. Okay, hey. As soon as the button reloads, there it is. Hey, he says, Tim, on the Mecha Store, I can't find any of the stickers. Is there a stock reason for that? Yes, there is. So the stickers are a weird thing. To get them into the store, I would have to go through my production company that makes everything else. Their stickers aren't great, unfortunately. Their stickers are not great. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're really good. I should backtrack and just take all that back. They're really, really good. The problem that I have with them is that if you apply them to a dirty or uneven surface, they could start to peel. So that's kind of my issue with them. And they're a little on the expensive side as of right this second. So that's kind of why I'm holding off on putting those in the store at this point. I want to see if they up the quality, and I also want to see if they can drop the price on them, because right now they're only made in Eastern Europe, and their production facility in Eastern Europe. I want to see if they're going to bring them over to the production facilities here in the U.S. or Mexico, because that would definitely lower the price on them, because they'll have more capacity and all that. So, yeah, for right now, stickers are kind of a tricky thing. The ones that I have right now in hand are special made. So, quantity-wise, I don't get a ton of them. So I have to save those for people that, have sent me stickers or were trading or what have you. So that's kind of where we are with the sticker situation right now. I'd love to be able to offer those in the store, because I know a lot of people have asked, but it's just not it's not economic right now because I think even the base price is way too expensive. So I don't want to put those out there for you guys if they're stupid expensive either, right? So it's a tricky situation, but give it time. I think it'll get better once they bring production over here. So yeah. Let's see. Bro Builder says, this guy gets it. There you go. Ty Furious says, just a joke, but I feel like all that I learn here is worth more than I give. Aw, man. It's all good. It's all good. Michael Crumline says, drop some likes on the stream, guys. I can't be the only one. Nice. Bro Builder says, what it do, Mr. Anderson? There you go. Serwin over there on Facebook, he says CA glue is not very flexible adhesive. It is not. He says I use it for legs, and when things fall, little separations. So I use more flexible glue like Contacta from Revell. Okay, gotcha. Sorry for my English. No, dude, Serwin, don't apologize. You're doing great. You're doing great. But no, yeah, CA glue is not flexible in the slightest. It's actually very brittle, when you really get down to it. But when you have a lot of surface area or, small parts and stuff like that that are applied to flat surfaces, it's actually very, very strong. But for flexibility, it's not flexible at all. So, yeah, good call. Excuse me. Julius wants to know if Tex has not used her ultrasonic cleaner. By the sounds of it, she's not. But hey, what are you gonna do, right? Bro Better says, the autoclave, beautiful machine. There you go. Alexander says, okay, fair enough. Yeah. He says, I'll just have to keep my eye out when they when they get into the store. They've never actually been in the store. Yeah. Helsting Oz Unit is over there on YouTube. He says, need some stickers of Gundam ranks like Xeon and Federation. Man, those would be, I think, kind of interesting, right? Those would be kind of interesting. Julius Dempsey says, I get some of those rank stickers. Yeah, there you go. Alexander says, be right back getting some grub. Well, enjoy that one, Alex. All right. Let's see. 4:28. We got to watch the time here, you guys. We got to watch the time because, like I said, we got to end a little bit early today so I can jump on with Mr. David Clark directly after this stream. So we're going to be cutting it probably in about, 15, 20 minutes or so. Maybe just a little bit over that. But, yeah, let's continue on in the meantime. So, like I said, we want to fill in this little void here, right? So to do that, unfortunately, we need to get a little messy with things. So let's square off the end on that, and let's cut an appropriate amount of strip, and we're gonna need to do 2. So we'll match that up. Let's see, here we go. We'll match that up and we'll cut that. Now these don't have to be exacting. These don't have to be perfectly matched sizes or anything. It's not a huge deal. But what we do want to do is make sure that that you have enough room to grip the strip with your tweezers, right? So what we're going to do, we're actually going to apply super glue directly into this little panel line here, and then we're going to use our strip to spread that out, and we're going to pop that right in there, and we're going to try our best to align it with the bottom. Now, chances are, and it just happened, we've got and you can see there the glare right there, and a little super glue flowed into this horizontal line. That's not a problem. We can rescribe that because that's just a 0.3 millimeter line there. That's not a big deal at all. My main concern is just filling this vertical line with a combination of super glue and plastic strip. So that we've already done there. So what we're going to go ahead and do is fill in this other side just with a little drop, nothing crazy, right? And we'll load up this other strip here. Actually, this end looks cleaner. And we'll do the same exact thing here on this side. Try to properly align that, right? There we go. All right. So there we are. All right. So to speed this process up, let's hit this with a little Insta-set on both sides. Right there. And all right, so we're gonna leave that cook for a second, right? Let's see. Charles Dodge says, which channel is hosting that? Bluefin YouTube or me? Me. It'll be right here on my channel. Yeah. It's actually already set up, and so you just have to jump over to the next the next stream. It's actually set up as kind of a special edition. It's got the little green banner for special guests and all that good stuff. So, yep, it's going to be right here on this channel. Yeah. Let's see. How you doing, by the way? I'm doing good. Or are you talking to Charles? I don't know. But I'm doing good. And Alex says it's right after this one, Charles, on YouTube. Yeah, exactly. Serwin over there on Facebook, he says, I see you have the Fisker's cutting mat. Yeah. Is it good, or you buy it because she looks good? No, it is a wonderful cutting mat. I highly recommend it. And it does look good as well, right? No, but the cutting mat is wonderful. Highly recommended. Fisker's cutting mats are honestly some of the best that you can get. So, yeah. Charles Dodge says Alex just got the notice from YouTube. There you go. Hey, at least YouTube's working for us, right? So there we go. All right. So these should be cooked and cured. Let's sop up the rest of the Insta set here with a little paper towel. Just get as much off of the surface as you possibly can. And then you can just blow the rest of it dry. Because it evaporates actually pretty quickly, but since we put it on with a dropper, it tends to pool in a few places, and that's not even a huge deal. All right, so we've got that filled. The glue is nicely cured. Now we'll just clip off the little excess strip here. And then we'll start to trim the rest back with our hobby knife. Let's get the low-hanging fruit off of there as much as we possibly can, right? So now we'll just take our hobby knife and let that ride the surface of the part here, and that will start to trim that back. Now, one thing that you want to be careful of, you want to let the blade just, like I said, just ride the surface. You don't want to press in or anything like that, and you want to just kind of be very, very gentle with cutting this off, and you don't want to gouge into the piece. And there we go. Pretty good. That's pretty good. I think we're going to have to do a little bit of filling on one of the sides here because I felt a little bit of a gap, but overall not too bad. And then we got to get the excess off of the bevel here as well. There we are. Good stuff there. And just a little bit at the top that kind of spilled over. But that top bevel looks very, very nice. And let's see if we can flatten this out just with a little bit of scraping here. Yeah, there we go. But yeah, doing the fingernail test here, it is catching right there. Catching right there. So that tells me that there's definitely a gap or a dip or divot, something like that, right? Something. So we'll come back to that here in just a few seconds. That looks pretty nice there. Let's get the top first. There we are. All right, let's trim down the sides here. That's pretty good. Just doing a quick fingernail test there. That seems pretty solid. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. All right. Just kind of scraping down the bevels here. Getting those nice and clean. All right, so now what we need to do is just do a little bit of filler on that one piece there. And, whoops, get our little palette in here. Just a little drop because we only need just a teeny tiny bit to fill in this little gap here beside this piece of strip. So we're just going to wick that up here. Right along that panel line. That's going to fill in. And we're going to hit that just with a little drop of Instaset there. Let's get caught up with the chat while we wait for that to cure, right? Let's see. Brian says, I care about you too, Tim. Don't worry. Thank you, Brian. Merritt says, I won't lie. I waited until Michael's had 50% off and bought one myself. So nice. Yeah, oh, the cutting mats. Yeah. Let's see. Alexander's time check. Yeah, we got about a good another 5-10 minutes. Yeah. I think 10 minutes should be fine. 10 minutes should be perfectly fine. So, yeah. We'll cut it in, what, about 11 minutes or so? Yeah. That gives a nice little buffer. All right, so let's go back to this here real quick. Let's see here. Yep, that is completely cured. You can see that there. Very, very nice. That's why I love Instaset, you guys, because it literally instantly sets the super glue, right? Now we're going to very, very gingerly trim this back because I don't want to pull that out of the gap that we just attempted to fill, right? Because that would be tragic. Okay, there we go. All right, scrape that down. Yeah, that's good. That's good. We need to do a little bit of surface sanding here just to get that nice and smoothed out. But it passed initial fingernail tests. Let's put it that way. Looks like we got a little bit more trimming to do because it's getting caught here at the bottom. Perfect. That's perfect. Excellent. All right. So now, Serwin over there on Facebook, he says, what do you have in the syringe? Oh, this is Instaset, right? This is by a company here in the States, Bob Smith Industries. This is the super glue that I use. This is my super glue of choice. BSI is what they go by. But what I do is I get this is their Instaset. It's basically like Zip Kicker, this actually comes in a spray bottle, but I rebottle this into this nice little needle applicator, and it just gives me a lot more precision when applying it, and it actually saves you a lot of headache as well. So yep, that's what that needle is. All right, so oh no, that's a 0.6 millimeter line there, isn't it? That's not what we need. This is what we need. 442. Okay, cool. So let's try to clean this super glue out here just real quick in the time that we have left, right? We'll actually come in from this direction, and we're going to reverse the chisel. We're going to turn it upside down and basically use this as a traditional chisel to chisel out this super glue. And this is not hard. This is very simplistic stuff. Just need to be careful, obviously. You don't want to break a $20 chisel, right? That might be half millimeter. So let's get the half mil out of here. There it is. I hardly ever use this half millimeter because it's not the best chisel in the world, because it's unfortunately kind of chipped at the end. That's my fault, not BMC. But that's why I don't use the half mil all that much. There we go. Now we're getting it. Now we're getting it. And that's basically coming right out. And once you have that that groove established, then you can basically just go in and really just scribe out the excess super glue. And there was a lot more super glue that leaked into this gap than what we had originally seen, unfortunately. So actually, it's still a little gummy. Yeah, still a little gummy in there, which isn't great, but it is what it is. Okay. All right, let's do a time check. 4:45. Okay, so let's start to wrap this up, actually, you guys, because we need to cut this one short. Because, like I said before, I'm going to be joined here momentarily with Mr. David Clark, brand manager for Bluefin Distribution here in the States, with some really exciting news. So, for those of you watching on YouTube, switch over to that after we're done. But for those of you watching on Twitch or Facebook or Twitter or whatever, hang tight. We're going to be back here in just a few minutes, right at about 5 p.m. Our time, which is in about 15 minutes, and so we'll be able to talk with David. But let's do a quick update here on the chat here real quick. Serwin says, what, he says, accelerator, try decanting it. I have it in a can. Oh, yeah, see, there you go. Let's see. He says it's not better to use dissolved putty from Mr. Hobby. See, that's the thing. I like super glue better because it's impervious to any types of solvents and stuff like that. So if you do an alcohol bath, the super glue won't be affected by that. And then also when you go to primer your part, if it has any sort of solvent in it, like like Mr. Surfacer or something like that does, it could reactivate that putty. So that's why I like super glue a little bit better. It doesn't react to those solvents at all. So, but yeah, good questions. Alex Andrews says, sweet, my chisel handle and .6 blade is on its way. Nice. He says, already got it open in another tab ready. Good. Terry T says, all right, I'm going to go make some coffee and popcorn. There you go. Serwin says, yes, right, I forgot. No, all good, man. That's why we're here. We're here to learn, right? So you're in the right place, Serwin. You're asking the good questions. So please continue doing that. But, all right, you guys, real quick, let's do our outro here. And we're going to jump off and join David Clark here in just about 13 or so minutes. But, hey, if you want to rock one of these little Londo Bell hats, if you want to bright slap somebody, you need one of these, go www.chadomecha.com, hit the store button up at the top. You will find this hat, many more shirts, prints of my work, all sorts of cool stuff in there. Go load up. If you're interested in any of the tools and materials that we were working with here today, I highly suggest you hit the little Amazon link below here on Twitch and YouTube. That side, if you're watching on Facebook, bunch of stuff in there. I do get a bit of a commission based off the stuff that you buy, but it does not increase the cost for you. It goes to help out me, help out the stream, and fuel our efforts going forward. And then if you are interested in model kits, accessories, tools, materials, what have you, Mecha Decals Sheets 1 and 2, those are both in stock and shipping now. Hit up our good friends right down here, USA Gundam Store. Adam and the fine crew down there will definitely have what you need. And last but most importantly, if you get value from this, if you like what we do here, man, like, follow, subscribe, all that good stuff. Give a thumbs up on the YouTube link. All of that stuff. And if you feel that anyone else could benefit from what we do here, man, share the stream with people. Share it in Facebook groups and stuff like that. Make it known to people that you get value from this, that you enjoy what you're seeing. So that would be greatly appreciated. But we're going to be back here in just a few minutes, guys. So hang tight. For those of you on YouTube, jump over to that stream, and we'll be back here in just a few minutes. But if I don't see you, we're going to have Mechanism tonight in about 5 or so hours, where we're going to be just a bunch of drunk idiots, and we're going to have fun doing that. And then we'll be back here on Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern U.S. time, and we'll jump back on the SD build and all that good stuff. So with that being said, guys, have a wonderful rest of the day if I don't see you on the next stream. Use common sense, wash your hands, be safe out there, and go build something cool. All right, see you guys.